part 2 of the last poems from Yeats selected poetry. The time is 1:11. Make a wish to the angels, beautiful ones, beautiful people of planet Earth. What do we wish for? Healing and triumphant reclamation of our souls, purification of hearts and minds and bodies, and true and authentic loves and deep passions, and fealty and loyalty and honour and integrity and peace. So it's still the 10th of May 2025, my daughter Jasmine's 38th birthday. And let me finish off these poems because I want to go and buy some food and get some lunch and live my best life, my other life, my life of a woman of action. Are you content? I call on those that call me son, grandson, or great-grandson, on uncles, aunts, great-uncles, or great-aunts, to judge what I have done. Have I that put it into words, spoilt what old loins have sent? Eyes spiritualized by death can judge. I cannot, but I am not content. He that in Sligo at Drumcliff set up the old stone cross, that red-headed rector and County Down, a good man on a horse, Sandy Mount Corbett's that notable man, old William Pollock's fen, the smuggler Middleton, butlers far back, half legendary men. Infirm and aged I might stay in some good company, I who have always hated work, smiling at the sea, or demonstrate in my own life what Robert Browning meant by an old hunter talking with gods. But I am not content. The statues. Pythagoras planned it. Why did the people stare? His numbers, though they moved or seemed to move in marble or in bronze, lacked character. But boys and girls, pale from the imagined love of solitary beds, knew what they were. That passion could bring character enough, and pressed at midnight in some public place, live lips upon a plummet measured face. No, greater than Pythagoras, for the men that with a mallet or a chisel modelled these calculations that look but casual flesh, put down or Asiatic vague immensities, and not the banks of oars that swam upon the many-headed foam at Salamis. Europe put off that foam when Phidias gave women dreams, and dreams their looking-glass. One image crossed the many-headed, sat under the tropic shade, grew round and slow, no hamlet thin from eating flies, a fat dreamer of the Middle Ages. Empty eyeballs knew that knowledge increases unreality, that mirror on mirror mirrored is all the show. When gong and conch declare the hour to bless, Grimalkin crawls to Buddha's emptiness. When Pierce summoned Cuchulainn to his side, What stalked through the post office? What intellect? What calculation, number, measurement? Replied, we Irish, born into that ancient sect, but thrown upon this filthy, modern tide, and by its formless spawning, fury wrecked, climb to our proper dark, that we may trace the lineaments of a plummet measured. April 9th, 1938. News for the Delphic Oracle. 1. There all the golden codgers lay, there the silver dew. The great water sighed for love, and the wind sighed too. Man-picker Neve leant and sighed by Oisin on the grass. There sighed amid his choir of love tall Pythagoras. Plotinus came and looked about, the salt flakes on his breast, and having stretched and yawned a while, lay sighing like the rest. 2. Straddling each a dolphin's back and steadied by a fin, those innocents relive their death, their wounds open again. The ecstatic waters laugh because their cries are sweet and strange. Through their ancestral patterns dance, and the brute dolphins plunge, until in some cliff-sheltered bay, where wades the choir of love, proffering its sacred laurel crowns, they pitch their burdens off. 3. Slim adolescence that a nymph has stripped, Peleus on Thetis stares. Her limbs are delicate as an eyelid. Love has blinded him with tears, but Thetis' belly listens down the mountain walls, from where Pan's cavern his intolerable music falls. Foul goat-head, brutal arm appear, belly, shoulder, bum, flash fish-like nymphs and satyrs copulate in the foam. Long-legged fly. That civilization may not sink its great battle lost, quiet the dog, tether the pony to a distant post. Our master Caesar is in the tent, where the maps are spread, his eyes fixed upon nothing, a hand under his head. Like a long-legged fly upon the stream, his mind moves upon silence. Let the topless towers be burnt and men recall that face. Move most gently if move you must in this lonely place. She thinks, part woman, 3 parts a child, that nobody looks. Her feet practice a tinker shuffle, picked up on a street. Like a long-legged fly upon the stream, her mind moves upon silence. That girls at puberty may find the first Adam in their thought. Shut the door of the Pope's chapel, keep those children out. There on that scaffolding reclines Michael, Angelo, with no more sound than the mice make, his hand moves to and fro, like a long-legged fly upon the stream. His mind moves upon silence. A bronze head. Here at right of the entrance, this bronze head, human, superhuman, a bird's round eye. Everything else is withered and mummy dead. What great tomb haunter sweeps the distant sky? Something may linger there, though all else die, and finds there nothing to make its terror less, hysterica passio of its own emptiness. No dark tomb haunter once, her form all full, as though with magnanimity of light, yet a most gentle woman. Who can tell which of her forms has shown her substance right? Or maybe substance can be composite. Profound MacTaggart thought so, and in a breath a mouthful held the extreme of life and death. But even at the starting post, all sleek and new, I saw the wildness in her, and I thought, a vision of terror that it must live through had shattered her soul. Propinquity had brought imagination to that pitch where it casts out all that is not itself. I had grown wild and wandered, murmuring everywhere, my child, where is my child on her birthday? Celebrating, I hope. Or else I thought her supernatural, as though a sterner eye looked through her eye on this foul world and its decline and fall. Who wrote that 100 years ago, by the way? On gangling stalks grown great stalks run dry, ancestral pearls all pitched into a sty. Indeed, too many pearls before the swine. Heroic reverie mocked by clown and knave, and wondered what was left for massacre to save. They were so frightened of my pearls, complained bitterly about them swinging in the breeze while I moshed. Sad little motherfuckers. Humanity saves her pearl, the greatest pearl of all, for the one. High talk. Processions that lack high stilts have nothing that catches the eye. What if my great-granddad had a pair that were 20 foot high, and mine were but 15 foot? No modern stalks upon higher. Some rogue of the world stole them to patch up a fence or a fire. Because piebald ponies led bears, caged lions make but poor shows. because children demand Daddy Longlegs upon his timbered toes, because women in the upper stories demand a face at the pain that patching old heels they may shrink. I take to chisel and plane. Malachi Stiltjack am I. Whatever I learned has run wild, from collar to collar, from stilt to stilt, from father to child. All metaphor, Malachi, stilts and all, a barnacle goose far up in the stretches of night. Night splits and the dawn breaks loose. I, through the terrible novelty of light, stalk on, those great seahorses bare their teeth and laugh at the dawn. Why should not old men be mad? Why should not old men be mad? Some have known a likely lad that had a sound fly fisher's wrist turned to a drunken journalist. What was that young man that claimed to be a writer, that Jim? I want you, he said. I wonder who put him up to that. Well, it backfired terribly, didn't it? Let's twirl some nipples as we speak. Twirl the nipples in a fit of pique. Sad motherfuckers. Deluded. Thought they could dominate and destroy and control the Tanya. Sad motherfuckers. But I love you all. You understand. A girl that knew all Dante. What? Knew all? She knew all Dante once. Define the meaning of all and knew. Probably not in the biblical sense. Maybe. It's hard to tell with W.B. Yeats. Live to bear children to a dance. Oh dear goddess, I know exactly how that feels. Did that once. Thank God my children have brains. Given their progenitor. Dear goddess. What was I thinking at 17? At 17, we knew the truth that youth is wasted on the youth. A Helen of social welfare dream. Climb on a wagonette to scream. Oh, this is painful because it's talking about my life quite accurately here. Some think it a matter of course that chance should starve good men and bad advance, that if their neighbours figured plain, as though upon a lighted screen, no single story would they find of an unbroken, happy mind. A finish worthy of the start. Young men know nothing of the sort. Observant old men know it well. And when they know what old books tell, and that no better can be had, know why an old man should be mad. The circus animal's desertion. 1. I sought a theme, and sought for it in vain. I sought it daily for 6 weeks or so. Maybe at last, being but a broken man, I must be satisfied with my heart. Although winter and summer till old age began, my circus animals were all on show. Those stilted boys, that burnished chariot, lion and woman, and the Lord knows what. 2. What can I but enumerate enumerate old themes. First that sea rider Oisin led by the nose through 3 enchanted islands, allegorical dreams, vain gaiety, vain battle, vain repose. Themes of the embittered heart, or so it seems, that might adorn old songs or courtly shows. But what cared I that set him on to ride? I starved for the bosom of his fairy bride. And then a counter-truth filled out its play. The Countess Kathleen was the name I gave it. She, pity-crazed, had given her soul away. But masterful heaven had intervened to save it. Gratitude to the Holy One in all manifestations, you understand. I thought my dear must her own soul destroy, so did fanaticism and hate enslave it. And this brought forth a dream, and soon enough this dream itself had all my thought and love. And when the fool and blind man stole the bread, Cuchulainn fought the ungovernable sea. Heart mysteries there, and yet when all is said, it was the dream itself enchanted me. Character isolated by a deed to engross the present and dominate memory. Players and painted stage took all my love, and not those things that they were emblems of. 3. Those masterful images, because complete, grew in pure mind, but out of what began? A mound of refuse or the sweepings of a street, old kettles, old bottles, and a broken can, old iron, old bones, old rags, that raving slut who keeps the till. Now that my ladder's gone, I must lie down where all the ladders start, in the foul rag and bone shop of the heart. Politics. In our time, the destiny of man presents its meaning in political terms. Thomas Mann. How can I, that girl, standing there, my attention fixed on Roman or on Russian or on Spanish politics? Yet here's a travelled man that knows what he talks about. And there's a politician that has read and thought, and maybe what they say is true, of war and war's alarms. But oh, that I were young again and held her in my arms. The Man and the Echo. Man. In a cleft that's christened out, under broken stone I halt, at the bottom of a pit that broad noon has never lit, and shout a secret to the stone, all that I have said and done, now that I am old and ill, turns into a question, till I lie awake night after night and never get the answers right. Did that play of mine send out certain men the English shot? Did words of mine put too great strain on that woman's reeling brain? Could my spoken words have checked that whereby a house lay wrecked? And all seems evil until I, sleepless, would lie down and die. Echo, lie down and die. Man, that were to shirk the spiritual intellect's great work and shack it in vain, there is no release in a bodkin or disease, nor can there be work so great as that which cleans man's dirty slate, while man can still his body keep, or wine or love drug him to sleep. Waking, he thanks the Lord that he has body and its stupidity. But body gone, he sleeps no more, until his intellect grows sure that all's arranged in one clear view, pursues the thoughts that I pursue, then stands in judgment on his soul, and all work done dismisses all, out of intellect and sight, and sinks at last into the night. Echo, into the night. Man, O rocky voice, shall we in that great night rejoice? What do we know but that we face one another in this place? But hush, for I have lost the theme. Its joy or night seem but a dream. Up there some hawk or owl has struck, dropping out of sky or rock. A stricken rabbit is crying out, and its cry distracts my thought. Under Ben Bulben 1. Swear by what the sages spoke round the Merotic lake, that the witch of Atlas knew, spoke and set the crocs a crow. Swear by those horsemen, by those women, complexion and form prove superhuman, that pale, long-visaged company, that air and immortality, completeness of their passions, one. Now they ride the wintry dawn, where Ben Bulben sets the scene. Here's the gist of what they mean. 2. Many times man lives and dies between his two eternities, that of race and that of soul, and ancient Ireland knew it all. Whether man die in his bed, or the rifle knocks him dead, a brief parting from those dear is the worst man has to fear. Though gravediggers' toil is long, sharp their spades, their muscles strong, they but thrust their buried men back in the human mind again. 3. You that Mitchell's prayer have heard Send war in our time, O Lord. Know that when all words are said and a man is fighting mad, something drops from eyes long blind. He completes his partial mind, for an instant stands at ease, laughs aloud, his heart at peace. Even the wisest man grows tense with some sort of violence before he can accomplish fate, know his work, or choose his mate. 4. Poet and sculptor do the work, nor let the modish painter shirk what his great forefathers did. Bring the soul of man to God, make him feel the cradles right. Measurement began our might, forms a stark Egyptian thought, forms that gentler Phidias wrought. Michelangelo left a proof on the Sistine Chapel roof. The eye and the thou, babies. Where but half awakened Adam can disturb globe-trotting madam till her bowels are in heat. Proof that there's a purpose set before the secret working mind. Profane perfection of mankind. He's telling you all to get fucked, by the way. Read between the lines. Babies. That's how I interpret that. Quattrocento put in paint on backgrounds for a god or saint. Gardens where a soul's at ease, where everything that meets the eye, flowers and grass and cloudless sky, resemble forms that are all seen when sleepers wake and yet still dream. Zombie, zombie, be. Wake up, number 37. Begin a new dream. Aware and awake and alive in your bones and body, sinew and muscle and heart and mind, and tune and tone. Sorry, a poem within a poem. Calm your farm, calm your parents. Calming farm. Shake it off. Shake it like a British nanny. Where were we when I got lost in space? When wakers wake and yet still dream, and when it's vanished still declare, with only bed and bedstead there, that heavens had opened. Some of you will never understand, and that's okay. Gyres run on when that greater dream had gone. Calvert and Wilson, Blake and Claude prepared a rest for the people of God. Palmer's phrase, but after that confusion fell upon our thought. 5. Irish poets, learn your trade. Sing whatever is well made. Scorn the sort now growing up, all out of shape from toe to top. It's not their fault, Yeats, they were poisoned. Don't disparage the young. They were afflicted against their will. Children don't get to fight for their body autonomy. Ask me how I know. Their unremembering hearts and heads, base-born products of base beds. Sing the peasantry and then hard-riding country gentlemen, the holiness of monks, and after porter drinkers, randy laughter. Sing the lords and ladies gay that were beaten into the clay. Through 7 heroic centuries, cast your mind on other days, that we in coming days may be still the indomitable Irish Ree. My ancestors, warming through my blood, stirs passions long dead. The beautiful people, the courageous people, the heartfelt people, the soul of the people. Six. Under bare Ben Bulben's head in Drumcliff churchyard, Yeats is laid. It's ironic that he didn't die there, but he did get eventually exhumed and put there. What was it, 8 or 9 years after, 1948? He was determined to go home to Drumcliff. I love a man who knows what he wants. In Drumcliff churchyard, Yeats is laid. An ancestor was rector there. Long years ago, a church stands near. By the road an ancient cross, no marble, no conventional phrase, on limestone quarried near the spot. By his command these words are cut. Cast a cold eye on life and death. On life, on death. Horsemen pass by. I think he means the horsemen of the apocalypse. Because death rides a horse too, does it not? In the tarot it does. Cast a cold eye on life, on death. Horsemen pass by. He knew there's always another beginning after every ending, my beloved ones. Mustang Quay rides on, just like Yeats. September 4, 1938. And then we have lots and lots of notes, pages and pages of them, which I'm not going to bother to read because it's too much, people. It's too much. I might read them for myself, on my own, out of my own curiosity. Anyway, thus concludes today's, the last few days. When did I start this? 4 days ago. Readings of W.B. Yeats. Today has been quite a spiritual emanation and purging, resurging, letting go of stale, false love that was delusional, cruel, feckless and weak. Mama too has spoken. I'm awake in my own psychedelic dreaming. Those who try to destroy me when I was weak and vulnerable and ill, you see now what happens when I rise up. God has blessed us all.